Well, evening all. Quick item on making your own liquid fertiliser. This is something you can do with nettles, which I have lots of, which is what I'm going to use here. The organic grower's favourite is comfrey, but that's something you generally have to grow specially. Or I believe you can also do it with borage, and funnily enough, I've noticed in my artichoke there's a little borage seedling, but borage comes up much later, so to make some now I'm going to use the plentiful nettles. So it seems to be as simple as cut a sort of half a bucket load of nice fresh nettles, put a weight on top of it to keep it in the bottom of the bucket, and half fill it with water. And then you can leave it to sort of stew and brew for, it says, between 1 and 3 weeks. Also talking to my cousin Angela, that's kind of recommended time. After which it will sort of ferment quite a bit and produce a nice smelly brown liquid. And then the idea is that you strain that liquid off, or just dip a cup in it. And if you dilute it about 1 to 10, most of the blogs say, to put on the roots of plants, or 1 to 20 if you're watering it onto the foliage. And the idea of this is that all the nitrogen in the nettles, because where you have nettles growing generally means a very fertile soil and lots of nitrogen, they're taking up that nitrogen, and then you're brewing it out into your nettle tea to put back on plants to give a nitrogen boost. As we were saying earlier, the aim is to keep the soil in really good heart and use as much compost and manure as you can, but as an extra feed, and a cheap and almost free one really, brewing your nettle or your comfrey or your borage tea is a good addition. There's also a quick way, which is you steep it in boiling water for 20 or 30 minutes and then strain it off, but that's going to be a lot less potent. So I'm going to try the brewed, apparently slightly stinky way, and put a lid on it, not completely sealed, but just enough to keep things out of it, and we'll see how it goes.